Good morning, Jessica. guys. Oh, wow, that works perfectly this time, huh? Well, hold on. I think if I just push that back just a little bit, we're in good shape. Huh? Who can do things? I can. I think the most important thing that you have to focus on is where the 200-day moving average is. I think that's so important. Really, for us, we can just use the high of that bar right here, which really is that 57.73 level. And let's see if we can drop that perfectly there. And let's go here with it. All right, and there we go. And then I can just come to this one and take that up. All right, so that didn't work. So what we'll do is remove that and let's try this again. So right at the top of that bar, it pretty much ties in right where that is. So might as well just leave that there. And then this top of this from yesterday as well is going to be a big deal. I think those are like the key levels up here. You could also argue that this close from the gap down when we all got liberated from right in there. And then what we would do is go to here and then flip this from there to a 5, I think is the best way to look at it. And then you can kind of see how those levels are playing out already. And I think they're the levels to really pay attention to. You have a slope where you've been trying to break through that and you're just not really able to. And I think we're going to have to really watch how that, that plays out there. But from my perspective, this is how I say it. And I really don't want to look at this stuff all day with this stupid canvas set up this way. So what we'll do is just click the pane separators that way. And these are my lines. And that should get rid of it, right? Doesn't that get rid of it finally? Oh, it's this thing, isn't it? This dumb one. There it is. So in looking at it, that's how I say it. I think they're your big levels. I don't know who's going to go hog wild today going into this meeting. It could be a very slow day. You have some names out there that are equity traders that you just want to trade and see what you can make off of. But if I'm to really look at the levels, that's really how I say it, and that's what I would focus on more than anything out there. So let me just grab this and go from there, and then we'll see there. And then go. And then we'll go from there. But let's get to it. It's good. Thank you. I'm gonna need more coffee. I'm gonna need way more coffee. I can already tell you guys, I'm gonna have to go and grab coffee here in a minute. I sleep more and it's worse. It's so weird. If I sleep 5-6 hours, I'm ready to go. I sleep like 8, my body. If I sleep 7 or 8, my body's like, what are you doing? There's stuff to do. And then I'm like, oh. But 5 hours seems plenty. I mean, I don't think May's off to that crappy of a start. I really don't. I do think that, I do think that you're in. Okay, hold on. What do you got, John? All right, thanks. I do think here, let's take a look at it this way. I kind of like the light blue line. I think it's a much better, easier looking line than the white line. I don't know how I view it. Seems cleaner for whatever reason. I do think we should talk about this for a sec because I think it's super important. So here's the NQ, right? And you can screenshot my levels, but watch. See the 200? Like the one thing I really wanted everyone to take from last night's public video was the fact that you have a death cross. Once you have a death cross, it's not the 55 that's resistance, it's the 200. There's the 200 right there. So understanding that's super, super important. And we're not through it. And we're not through it here either. So we can get all as giddy as we want. This is when people say short the death cross. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. It's probably the dumbest thing that I've seen out there lately. I mean, I've seen some dumb stuff, but that's up there. I'm concerned by that. And then I kind of look at this, and this is stocks above the 200-day moving average. I need the NASDAQ 100. This is NDTH, right? I'm going to get into this in Saturday's video. And if you don't get the free newsletter, I strongly suggest that you get it. It's going back to being hyper focused on one thing, trading, stock market and the trading. It's going to be like super focused. I was trying to do something like light and like show that I'm a human being. I'm just not. So we're just going to go back to just the trading stuff. And people are like try to bond more. I'm just not. So anyway, so here we are with like the 50. You say you're fighting it over and over again. You need the NASDAQ 100 back over the 50, because that's like, I love demarcation lines because it just makes my life easy. Should I be bullish or bearish on the NASDAQ? I don't know. I'm getting bullish, but I can't get over 50. That means I need 50 names above their 200-day moving average. And I've tried. I keep trying. I've been trying since March. See how it was support, that 50? See how it's resistance? Resistance flips to support. It's a pickle. I know it's pre-market. We're going to get to the names, but it's really important that you understand where you are right now. So like when you look at like the market breadth here, lately there's so much to go over. God, when I do the private videos, they're supposed to be 8 minutes long. They're like 20. There's so much to go over. Like, I really like that the 50's grinding higher. And I love that you're above 59 here, but the 200's not. You're still at 42. And it is good that you have this positive divergence here. And it is good that you have a positive divergence here. But at the same time, the 5's dropping, the 20's going sideways, but dropping, which is not great. So you have some issues here. So the question is it just people getting out because they've made enough money and they're like, the risk now is too great? I don't know how this weekend's going to go. I don't, how does it, and I'm wondering if that's what it is. So we'll see, but I think it's super important to go through that. Let's just go back to this. And let's get to some of these names you crazy kids are going to ask about. And I want to go through last night's earnings because I think you had some real big winners out there. I thought TTD did a great job. And I would watch this today. Coin, like I don't know what people are expecting from this. It's not Hood. Like, it's a completely different kind of company. It's hyper focused. I also thought Net was good. Wolf was an absolute dumpster fire, and DraftKings was good, but that's kind of, it is what it is at this point. Like, I think the easy money on DraftKings is kind of over. Like, the question now becomes like, why do I want to own this, or do I want to own this, right? And I think that that's really where the focus needs to be. Like, do I really want to own that? Probably not. And if I look at something like Wolf, like, do I really care it's down there? Like, not really. So if I get tied into some of the larger names out there, which I think is where I should go with this, just like some of the big dogs out there, and see where they're at. I like the way PLTR moved yesterday. I own it. I really like the volume yesterday. Anything like this that's getting above average volume, I think that should be a focal point. I definitely think that should be a focal point for people. And let's go through some of these bigger dogs because you guys are going to ask about them for sure. So like NVIDIA, to me, this is shaping up pretty nicely. I like that I don't have a lot of volume right now, quite frankly. I just keep ignoring it till earnings. And I don't know how earnings are going to go, but I know this. I think this thing's trading at such a discount right now to what it is, and they're trying to control it. You're not going to be able to control it much longer before he just splits the company up into a couple pieces, I think. I think what he's going to do eventually is like, yeah, I'm just going to open up a plant in China. Like the government can't stop him from opening up a plant. And whether he goes that route or not, if he does, stock will explode. But they're altering these chips again, and it's not getting any traction. But you think that these guys don't have a way? Like I just think it's dumb that they're not, that there's even restrictions. I just find the whole thing stupid. If you think that they're not getting access to them, if they're not it's just crazy. Of course they are. I mean, Singapore all of a sudden became a massive hub for buying, chips. Like, it's just dumb. Your two big levels are like really right there today. And that's what I would watch. If you get over that, there's a huge gap here that you can get to. And I think you can get there. I do. I think you have the potential to get there, but it might take some time and you might just bonk around a little bit. So, but I do like that name a lot. I think you have to go through some of these names. I don't know if they go through all of them, but Microsoft's super interesting to me because no one thought that they were going to have the issues that great. Like, no one thought that their issues were going to be like that this quarter. Everyone thought like, oh, you're going to have massive issues. Azure is not selling, blah, blah, blah. No, they're killing it. You can see that level right there, that 443.69 became your new pickle. Is this something that you have to really worry about or concern yourself with? Maybe. 32, 31 down here's the best. If you can get it. If you could get it. The meta was super interesting. I think it wants a 6 handle. And if it gets the 6 handle, it's actually getting to the point where it's kind of funny that now you got institutions and everybody dumping at the end of the day. I don't know how long that's going to go on for. And, that might change this weekend. This is a big weekend. And a lot of people are going to go flat, I think. And I don't know that that's the right move. You also have to kind of quantify your risk and what you're thinking. But that gap's huge. Huge. You can see it here too, really. Okay. It's like they're your big levels. I don't think you have to worry about, Netflix or that. I think that a bigger one to watch might be like PLTR. I'm watching these levels. Are you going to be able to get over this, or are you not going to get over this, and kind of go from there? I think they're your bigger fish to fry. And if you guys don't know what a fish fry is, I can't help you. I just can't. I think you got a lot going on there, man. The volume was insane yesterday. Absolutely insane. Let's go through some names. You guys always have decent names to look at here. Groupon I owned, I blew it out. I was worried about the capital gains. I was making too much money. I had to get out of it. Will they have earnings again? Yeah, I gotta tell you something. This earnings whisper, getting my stuff from there and relying on them instead of going back and doing it old school. I used to do it by myself. My list versus earnings whisper is so much better. Like, the stuff that he leaves off of there is really bad. Because you're leaving off, like, I forgot that this thing was coming out with earnings, or honestly, I would have looked at this, and I don't even know why it didn't hit any of my screens yesterday, but it didn't. We had a great trade in this. I would never would have held through this, by the way. I got out in here, like 18-ish in here, off a really good trade. And the reason I got out was just because I didn't like the market, what was going on. But I'm going to have to go back and make my own damn list because I'm missing too much stuff. So I'll just publish it somewhere. But I got to go back. I got to go back to it. Sometimes you get so comfortable with this stuff that other people do, and then you just don't realize that they just don't know how to do it properly. God, I sound grumpy. It's out a free list, and I'm busting on him. But like this, it's just so annoying to me because like this is such an easy trade. Like you knew they were going to crush. Like you just knew it, and it wasn't even on my radar. It's very frustrating. I bet you the volume's through the roof. Not as great as last time, but I mean they telegraphed it here, and here you are. So very little to say or do about it. Looks great. Looks absolutely great. And you're probably going to see more and more people use stuff like this and get involved. I mean, it can easily get a 3 handle on it. I would think that you're heading for something like this eventually up here. What you'd want to do with it, what you really want to do is hope you get this. And I don't know if you're going to get it or not, but what you really want is that 3-bar pattern here. And I don't know you're going to get it, but this is definitely worth spending time with. That's why I love doing these public ones. Let me just clone this super quickly. Like that's what you want. Like I hate the bars that do this. And the reason I hate those is because when they do it, you either act or you don't act, but your stop, you could just come right back down. Like they could just pop you over and then reverse you. It's just like such a crappy trade. But sometimes, it's a coin toss. It either works or it doesn't. I just don't like them. And you can see like here, it worked perfectly. So that's something else that I tend to do. Like if it does that, I'll go back and look at history and say, okay, if it did this on earnings before, how did it act? Because stocks have personalities. They trade like the people that trade them. So it is of interest 100%. These kinds of names are so fascinating to me. They just are so amazing to me because they are all over the place. 1 minute you're breaking out, everyone loves it. Everyone's high-fiving the bros. And then before you know it, you're cut down to like a third. And, I don't know who's going for these rides. Like when I look at stuff like this, I'm not buying something at 75 and then holding it to 19 or wherever the hell this thing went, 23, 24. And then, I'm sure the earnings are going to be great. Like, how do you know you're not going to 8? You were at what? 1, 2? Like, how do you not know you're not going down that way? Like, so this kind of stuff always gets to me because it's just like, I don't know who's doing this. The only people that could do it is like, if you're in here and then you sold half and you're like, I'll hold half. And because I think it's going to be X, Y, Z. Other than that, I don't know how you're doing that. It's super hard to stay in those names. Yep, please hit the like button. It helps greatly with the algorithm. Yeah, I think you're at a crossroads here, man. I really do. RELY. So let's do the RELY. No. What else you got? What's up, Alan? HRTG. Yeah, I don't know. I would want to look at this for sure because obviously it's earnings, obviously it's volume, and this is exactly the kind of bar that I'm talking about. Like that second bar just goes, and you're like, what's going on? And then you're bidding up again today. So like, how crazy was that quarter? And then where does this thing go? Like if you flip this, you're gone. You got blue skies. So you definitely want to put a little alert there. Ding, ding. No one's going to ring a bell. So you have to. You want to know that for sure. Yeah, I don't know how their earnings doubled. Are they doing, what kind of leasing do they do? Or what kind of insurance do they do? Are they a reinsurance? Like, how are they killing it? The one industry that they have not gone after at all, Biden administration didn't go after it. Trump like no one's talking about it as insurance. And if you look at the questions that have been asked so far, it's SEZL. It's Root. Is it 855? Thanks, John. It's Root. It's SEZL. It's this one that I don't know. Like if I didn't have Alan in my life, like I wouldn't even know this thing exists. That's why I love doing these public ones. We go over a ton of ideas in the room, but like you see this stuff, you're like, well, we're missing something. Like I had a great trade on, don't get me wrong, like I had a great trade on Travelers when they sold it down on those fires. I don't think that was here. It was like over where they dumped it on those fires, wherever it was, wherever the fires were, they dumped it. And I had a really good trade on it. But you could see like all those names kind of came in on that stuff and it made no sense whatsoever. And they're all back, and then you look at like Berkshire, which I think should get smoked. I don't know why Gary's going to get a 60% premium. I mean, no offense, Gary, but I don't get it. Or Greg. And I don't want a plushie of Greg or Gary. I really don't want a Warren either. But anyway, if you go back and you take a look at these, TG here, and we're looking at this stuff like there's something seriously going on with the insurance space, not health insurance, because they're going to go after that. But there's certainly something going on here and we have to pay attention to it. So I appreciate you bringing this to my attention. This space is going to be huge. Upwork, Fiverr. Mill was looking at these in the room. I was talking to him about them. But like, I don't know if today's your day. The insurance to me is fascinating because you're going to get, pardon me, here's why the insurance is so interesting. Tariffs don't affect you. Like maybe it affects the spend. Maybe you're buying the silver package versus the gold package. I don't know what kind of insurance they do, but like you still need the insurance. Good morning from Utah. Good morning from Miami. I mean, that's the one. Like out of the two, like that's definitely the one, right? I mean, you see that for yourself. How did they make so much money? I'd want to know how they made so much money. I'd want to know that. Good morning from New York City. Good morning from Miami. This is not the one that I would buy. I have no revenue. I'm just buying dreams. I'm running down a dream. I don't know what you do. No. What else you got for me? I'm not touching this. I think you're going to see more selling. I actually think this is the easiest. I was looking at charts last night. I actually think this is the easiest short in the world because you have this doji right here. It's very clear to me. Forget that. There's two things that became very clear. Apple's statement 100% affected the stock. They're going to try and split this company up. That's what the government wants to do. And everyone thought they were going to get a pass because they got rid of Lena Khan. They're not getting a pass. So I don't know if it's the right thing to do or the wrong. I'm not going down that road, right? I actually want to own it after that hits because it's going to be a monster. But if anyone ever watched the Baby Bells or Standard Oil, but it's the concentration of power. It's like wielding like all that money at things. That's like how you create like Waymo and all that stuff, and you take it apart. You can't do it. But it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. But I'm not touching it. XP, CTVA, XP. I don't know anything about them, man. Nothing. Super interesting chart. I don't know. I would just be talking out my butt. CTVA. Yeah, I mean, like that's what you're looking for, stuff like that that's doing this. TLT is going to be all over the place. Nobody wants to own the 20-year until they figure out what to do with the budget. And Doge didn't do squat. They cut some stuff, but they didn't do enough. And you have all this spending out there, and it's not sustainable. It's just not, no matter where you're at. Crowd, I wouldn't go near. Crowd told everybody to go home. I don't know why it's down. We saw the move this morning, but like I'm going to tell everyone to go home. It's not good. So I'm sure there's news out on it today. One of the people brought it up in the room. Like you're getting sued by Delta for billions, and you fired 5% of your workforce, and you just told everybody to go home ahead of earnings. Like, how do you think that earnings call is going to go? probably not going to go too well, right? So I wouldn't go near it, man. I'd be on the other side of that trade. DPST is so fascinating to me, Julian. You know, because it should be a lot higher, but I'm not going near it. Netflix, I own. I don't really have a problem with it. I wish I bought it sooner. I bought it at 9.25. We bought some calls. I did well with that trade, but I got out before the earnings. You know, all that liberation and winning scared me. So I really like the way it's acting. I think that space makes a lot of sense here. I don't know what they're going to do with the Hollywood movie thing. That's not my wheelhouse. I think HIMS is going to be. I actually think HIMS is going to be the. This is my opinion of it. I think you're going to be like the Amazon of like dude stuff. You know, they do hers too, but like bald guy cream and whatever. Like they're going to be it. They hired people. Like what they're doing is they're getting all the distribution and all the eyeballs on their site. It's so smart what they're doing. They're doing exactly what Amazon did. And I didn't even realize that they were hiring people from Amazon for C-level positions at HIMS when I said it, which they are doing. What's up with this desk today? So I definitely think it's interesting. I have a position in this. I can see myself having a position in this for some time now. I get what they're doing now. Now I get it. I couldn't figure out the pieces of like, the peptide side, the fat loss side. I couldn't figure it out what they were doing. It's no different than what they did with books, what Amazon did with books, and then added other things. And then they were selling CDs, right? You guys don't even remember CD now. Back in the day. I like that a lot. I think you have a real pickle here in the morning for these people, like a real pickle, man. Like, what are you doing going into the weekend? You know, when in doubt, buy. It's more fun. But in all seriousness, like, does he come out? Like, you know, look, Trump clearly passed the buck, and we saw that coming. And it's been rumored he's been doing that all week. And now he came out this weekend and said, oh, I think it should be 80%. And then Bessett's going to come back with like 50. And Trump will say, well, I would have gotten 80, because that's what he sounds like. And then they're going to say, well, we did a good deal, and it's a good deal. And we're going to take the deal. And then everyone's going to go, yay. And then the stock market's going to go up. Or nothing gets done and the stock market goes down. So, you know, the vehicle to probably play over the weekend is probably going to be anything crypto related. So at least you have access to Bitcoin, because that's going to be the risk on trade, right? But it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the close today. Do they just get out of the way going, man, he's not going to get a deal done, or we're not going to get a framework? But I think China needs to get something done. I'm going to go through these real quick. No, not all cats are cool enough to wear pajamas. No one inherits the Pope's wealth. Bro, don't get me started. It's too early for the tinfoil. We're going to do a tinfoil hat night, but it's not going to be now. We'll do one. It's not going to be now. There's a reason that they have chastity it for them. Go read the about the families. Yeah, I like what the VIX is. Go read about the families when the whole thing started. It's fascinating stuff. I don't know enough to talk about intelligently. Google, I think they're going to lose it. Yeah, they already downvoted. I mean, at some point, China's going to be like, "Hey, buddy, you know what we're going to do? We're going to reverse engineer your chip, and we're going to build it ourselves. We have unlimited funds." Yeah, I think there's something to that whole space, man. So we're going to try next week to be more at 8:15 to start these. Just FYI. Yeah, did they miss? They missed Arcade LB too, right? This is what's bothering me, so I'm going to do it myself. I'll put one out. It'll be better than his. Everything I do is better. I have no revenue on OKLO. SYM I like. SYM. I like this name. I thought they would do better with their deal with Wawa. I must not understand the terms of their deal, or their terms of the deal must absolutely suck, for lack of a better term. Angela. I don't know. Like, it makes you wonder, like, what are they going to do? Like, like, if you were over the 200, I would feel differently. But like, you're at a real crossroads. Like, do they think that he's going to come back with a framework, or is he going to come back empty-handed? And then if he comes back empty-handed, then when's the next meeting? It's a pickle. Yeah, I look at that too. Like, I look at that too. Let's do it. Let's do it together. I love when we can do stuff together. Rate of change NASDAQ. Yay. It is, and it's actually flatlining. And if you go take a look at it on the weekly, you're about to break the zero line. I say it. Believe me, I say it. I look at this all the time. Like, it's super, like, that's telling you that you've bottomed. And when you flip, it's telling you that you're going higher. Like, I say it. One of the things I like a lot is rate of change. And I like looking at like where it was in relation to other things, because it does matter to an extent, because it tells you how negative that rate of change has gotten. That rate of change got you right where you were on the last tariff on like the weekly. I got it. And then when you flip that zero line, it's just like an outright buy, right? If you use rate of change, it's probably how you're using it. But I sit on a stool. I was going to say I sit on a throne of lies, but like, I sit on a stool. So I have to look at the macro, fundamental, and technical side of this. I don't know how those talks go. You know, maybe I can glean something from those talks. And I don't care that it's up or I don't care about that. But I don't know how those talks go. I mean, hopefully they go well. But, you know, there's a huge what if out there, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Glad you're killing it. Yeah, they did a convertible note. Here you go. There you go, Christian. Right from the uranium's mouth. I don't think anybody in our room knows more about uranium than Stephen. I really don't think a lot of people know more about uranium than Stephen. I like Melly a lot. Exactly. We're going to be bigger than U.S. Steel. I think you have to watch the highs there. There you go. I like the nuclear space, ASPI. This does nuclear and space. Ooh. Yeah, GEV is going to be a monster. SMR, I like. I have some of those names that I watch. I have to pick my battles. What happens to everybody, and then I'm going to have to jump. But what happens to people in this environment? I call it death by diversification. Like you have to go like, okay, where am I going to make the most amount of money for the amount of risk that I'm taking? And sometimes it's broadening out in those areas, like, and sometimes it's not. So like I look at this and go, like what levels, what are near those levels? Like this Lulu to me made a lot of sense because of where it went. Like if you look at Lulu again, how many times has it gotten down here and there been a trade? Like a lot. So you have to pick your battles, but where they're, and kind of go from there. But I got to jump, guys. I'm super late. Trade to win today. Have a great weekend, everybody.